to imagine all life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light.
Total protonic reversal.
Protonic reversal.
Protonic Reversal with your host, Conan Neutron. Broadcasting from a secret underground lair in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
A gigantic middle finger to everything that is rock about music, rock and roll, and corporate power.
The thing is, though, if you don't laugh, you're going to go on a killing spree with sharpened nails.
Confidence of a hero or a fool. I wasn't exactly certain which.
Could not be more professional.
It means something. It means something. You know, that's my take on it. What's yours?
Protonic Reversal!
That's like a science thing, right?
Indeed it is. It is a science thing. It is a science place. It is a scientific fact that we are all up in your face. It is time once again for the one, the only Protonic Reversal. That's right. Welcome to it. Episode 433. What a number. That is quite a number, I gotta say. 433 episodes of this show. That's crazy. But yeah, happy to be doing it. Slightly different day, but for this particular guest, I would do this any day. And very excited, very shortly, to be bringing back the amazing Nastasia, who has her own record. She was on for the Jolie Laide record last time. We're going to talk all about, now that that's a live band, we're going to talk all about all that. But also, she has her own record, and it's very interesting. It's bandcamp only at this point, and that's something that I really love to see, and more than that, want to see succeed. So very, very stoked to talk to Nina about that, and I'm just going to go ahead and hazard a guess and say so much more. So there you go. Before we get into any of that, though, welcome to Conan Neutron's Protonic Reversal. I'm your host, Conan Neutron. I am a rock and roll lifer that has been touring and recording for over 26 years at this point, most known for the band Conan Neutron, The Secret Friends. Music is a huge part of my life, and I use the format of this very long-running podcast to talk about music with musicians who I like and respect, but who may or may not be household names. As mentioned, this is, episode 433. I shouldn't be amazed by my own episode numbering, but here we are. And as a reminder, all the show is free. No ads, no sponsors, no kidding. Archives of it available for ProtonicReversal.com. Always free. No ads, no sponsors, no kidding. But if you like the show and you want to get episodes sooner, $1 a month at patreon.com/ProtonicReversal will help achieve that goal. Also help support the show, keep the lights on around here. And thanks to everyone for liking, subscribing on your platform of choice, all that good stuff. All that helps people beat back the almighty algorithmic overlords. That's just a darn nice thing to do, really. So there you go. Nina's back. This record rocks. Let's just get right down to it. Just got off tour, right? Hi, Nina. How are you?
Yes, hi. You should be amazed, by the way.
It is. I'm looking at it, I was like, well, that's a big number, right? That's a big number. This ramshackle business. I was screwing in light bulbs like seconds before we went on air. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, this is I'm doing what I can when I can. Let's not. So there's two ways we can go with this. I want to talk about the fact that like you just came back off tour for a band that had never played shows before.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Can you tell me about that? Because I think that's amazing, and the pictures looked awesome.
It was crazy. Well, yeah. So we had this little tour that was going across Canada doing festivals, and we got. I went to Calgary, Canada, like about a week and a half before the Winnipeg Folk Fest, and it was really interesting. It was kind of like in our style of doing things, it seems. We kind of like get in this mode where we're like, we have no idea how this is going to work or what we're doing, or we're completely unprepared. And then somehow it just sort of happens. Right. So I get there, but the main person I have to say that really did a ton of work to try to figure out how to make the four of us sound like,
A band.
as much like the record as possible when there's so much added, it's like so much added to it. So, I mean, overdubbed and everything. It wasn't like really a live recording. So, Morgan Greenwood, he does a lot of the electronic stuff.
Yeah.
Also plays bass and stuff. So he was doing this crazy job of figuring out, okay, well, we'll have to fly for several shows. So if we're flying, like, how do we get as, not overload ourselves with instruments? We can't. Like, who's going to play what? At one point I was going to play the bass, and kind of, thank God, because I'm just like the laziest motherfucker. Right? We didn't do that because, I did learn a couple of things on the bass, but then I was like, wow, this is singing and playing the bass is not the easiest thing,
It's a whole different set of skills practically. Yeah.
Yeah. So then he kind of figured out, like, he had this foot pedal bass he was doing, and then he was also playing guitar sometimes, and he had figured out a whole synth station that I could play, because, which I loved that idea, because just singing without an instrument is odd to me. I've never done it, and so it feels uncomfortable.
Yeah, you don't really know what to do with your body necessarily.
No,
right?
you don't know what to do with your body. And I just feel like an idiot. What am I going to do? Dance or something? I don't know. Like, it's just, I just didn't know what to do. So he figured out this synth board where I could actually play it, and he created it so it was like I didn't have to really learn the keys, right? So I could, everything kind of was in the same key to the song, but I could express myself with it. I could actually play with it and create sounds with it. So it wasn't like I was just hitting a button, which is what
it's
we
not
want.
like it's sequenced or pre-recorded necessarily. Like, it's something where, the human element is going to be there.
Yes, because that's really what we wanted. We didn't, we wanted to be actually playing instruments. We didn't want to play to a track or anything. So, so then it just, it was just, it ended up working out really great. I think, I loved my stage time. All the time I was on stage, I loved it. I felt like it was the biggest learning experience I've had in a while, because I was singing differently. I was, there were a lot of workshops because it's like festival, it's like folk festival stuff. So they do a lot of workshops, and which is
That's exciting.
terrifying to someone that doesn't really know an instrument, but I was like,
sure. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I was like, well, I know my voice. So I just used my voice in it and jumped into it, which was like pretty exciting opportunity to do that. I loved it.
Yeah, I would have attended. You kidding me? Yeah, that sounds great.
And at one point I whistled, and I can't really whistle, but at one point, like, it was that kind of loose and weird that I just whistled. It was really fun. But and I was, it kind of, one point I think I screamed. It was fun. It was really fun. Like, it was so different than I'm used to, but we managed. I feel like we did a really, really good job with what we, the time we had and everything. I'm pretty proud of what we did. Yeah.
And it's also that you had not really toured in a collaborative band before too, right? So that's another so like it's a brand new. And again, we talked about that last time. And again, for folks that are Nina fans, please listen to the last episode because we went way into that. But there's something that you can know it until you're doing it, and then when you're doing it, it's like, oh, this is like you have to like everything, the motions you do are different, like every part of your day is going to be like slightly different when you're in that sort of situation, and that's so interesting to me.
I mean I think it was so great that it was a festival run too, because there's a kind of I mean, some people hate playing festivals. I love it. I think it's really
I think it's great.
Fun community. It's a super fun community. You're really taken care of. For the most part. Usually, it's like it's a really good scene for being taken care of. I mean, they have massage tents, like that kind of thing.
Right.
But when you get you get food and everything, and it's very communal. You meet a lot of people. It's fun. It's a fun environment. So that was very positive. I think that it was that kind of thing.
No, that's awesome, and hopefully that it's good enough that there'll be other ones. Other kind of runs in the future. I'd love to see it. Yeah,
it's so hard. I mean, it's so hard. Yeah. It's so expensive, and it's so hard to go out. It's like I'm still at a I'm almost feeling like just jumping back into music again. I'm feeling like, well, I can go out solo, but I don't know that I can really take a whole band. I mean, it's just
the logistics alone, and we talked about that, right? Where it was just like even the logistics of
crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. It's absolutely nuts how much everything costs.
Yeah,
and how little you get paid.
Exactly, and I'm not borrowing from the mob again. That's not going to happen. So it's like, I'm not doing that. So, it's like, so, but there are, the nice thing about Canada is
the government cares about art.
Oh, they do care about art a lot.
As opposed to this country.
Yeah, exactly. And whether we get them or not is going to be interesting. I don't know. I mean, it's like, also just it was interesting being an American over there. You can't get away from our administration. Talk about our administration. I mean, and
it's like the last thing you want to talk about. You're like, I did a break from this. No,
but I mean, I was all ready for it, so I was like, no, not all Americans are on board with what's going on.
Yeah. Exactly. So you got to get that out of the way real quick. It was like, by the way,
kind of. I mean,
we're not for this.
I think I think a lot of people know, but also other people are kind of like, well, how did this happen to begin with? So, well.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't vote for that to happen.
Yeah, and look, I mean, they've got a right to ask, right? It's especially from as an outside perspective. I mean, like, if you tour other countries, like, you don't necessarily have a full handle on their politics and where everyone stands. Why would you? And why would it even necessarily be relevant? But that's a sad
and it is the beautiful. I mean, it is the beautiful thing about music too. It just like really doesn't. It's just a kind of all-inclusive thing.
Yeah, right. It doesn't necessarily have to be intrinsically tied.
Yeah.
Although there's a point where it's like, all right, you got to take a stand at some point. But that's, completely different discussion also.
Oh, yeah. And I agree. Yeah. I mean, we're certainly at that stage, I think. Right.
Well, so I'm so glad to hear that the tour went well. Like I said, I like the band a lot. I think that last record especially, like you really are hitting on something cool. But something that I noticed, it didn't escape my attention, is that in June there's a new solo record. There's Songs for a World of Trouble, and I was like, how did this not come? I guess I didn't ask, so that's on me.
What?
But I didn't ask if you had a new solo record coming, and it's awesome because we didn't talk about it.
Yeah, I was kind of immersed in like really kind of getting that other thing figured out. But
I understand.
Yeah, it's it's a little experiment to see how to survive really in this industry, because and it's interesting to see like the difference it makes to have people get the record directly from you as opposed to the streaming stuff, because you just don't see any money. And so it's like
micro pennies, right?
Yeah, but it is a conundrum because it's like,
Here's your $40 for 3 months of streams. Oh, thanks. Great.
yeah. Oh, you got $40?
Yeah, right, exactly. On a good year, yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, Jesus, like when people say they get paid from Spotify at all, I'm
God,
like, well, really? Okay, wow. I mean, it's
depressing.
Yeah, I know. It's really depressing, and it's I know people that now, now that like the whole Daniel Ek thing of doing the whole drone, getting into the whole military drone stuff.
Yeah.
After becoming that powerful off the backs of musicians, it's like, now people are taking their stuff off Spotify. I think that's amazing. I think it's super amazing. It's not, and I respect it 100%. And, wish I could do it, but it really, it's, I mean, it does you such a disservice.
Yeah.
To not be on that platform. That's how people listen to music, and they pay monthly to listen to music that way, and that's how they discover you. It's like
especially younger music listeners, like
Yeah,
they don't know a world that isn't that.
or that's true, but there's also, I mean, across the board, people listen to music
Sure.
that way, and so it's like, what do you do? Like I couldn't possibly ask. The label I'm on, Temporary Residence, is a fantastic, ethical, beautiful label that has, it's not easy to keep going as long as they have,
Yeah.
In this new climate. They're not making much money either, so
And everybody's trying to figure it out and having
everybody's
a hard time.
trying to figure it out. Yeah. I mean, they're one of the good ones. They're not exploitive or anything like that. So I couldn't possibly ask them to put out a record and just say, I don't want it on any streaming platforms.
Yes.
I mean, just shoot everybody in the foot.
I'm just gonna go over here and self-immolate. It's like
and so-
I'm gonna light this money on fire.
Right. So I kind of thought, okay, let me do this. Let me do the projects that are a little bit bigger projects to do, where it's going to take a little more money to do it. It's going to take a little more, they're bigger projects to do, which I have a ton of them in the bag to do. Those ones I'll put out on Temporary Residence, and then in between that, and then I can have those on streaming platforms. And then in between that, I do these little ones that are simpler to make, and then
Right.
also are for people that are following me closely and know what's going on, and through my tiny little pond of social media, I can tell them about it, and they can buy directly to me, and it actually
Goes to you. You actually see some money from it.
exciting because I mean,
You'll see some money from earlier today. I finally remembered to buy the damn thing.
I think I thought I sent you one. Anyway, but it's really
You did, but look, this is a grand experiment. I want to be part of it.
exactly. Oh, well, it's I think what I'm hoping is that it'll grow, and I can,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's very, very, very hard to get the word out. There's a lot of noise, and to
Yes.
get people to know about it is extremely hard,
Mhm.
and so, and there's a lot of lost opportunity if it's not coming out as a proper release on a label. That's a whole other thing, That's
People
a whole
don't
other,
treat it with the same deference or respect
quite.
necessarily. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's real.
But that's okay. It's just like, okay, whatever. If I had and I know people that, and I'm fascinated by it because I know people that have done it and have just made apps. Their pond is so big that maybe it's more like a lake, like a giant
Sure.
lake.
I mean,
Like, and that they're actually making tons of money that way. I mean, it's just like weird that they can actually make some money. When I say tons, I mean, it's, my perspective of tons. Is
like, as much as you would get a yearly salary at McDonald's or something. Yeah.
But it's a lot of money. And it's interesting because I think what goes into, like, I think there's so much that goes into having an actual career in music where you have all the opportunities you'd like and all those things. You almost need the machine. So I find that they go back to just out there on streaming and having the machine there because it's a lot. It's a lot. Like
just to get that immersion, just to get it in people's feeds and attention, and that even like would otherwise be interested but don't know about it. In the same way that when you go on tour, people will be like, "Play Seattle," like we played Seattle yesterday, like, which does happen, and it's just the world we live in, which is this fire hose of information content, right? So
yes, and it is a bizarro world right now in that, you end up. I mean, it's with anything. Like with any business you have, you need to be 100% a part of everything. You can't just rely on sort of people running your stuff. You have to like constantly oversee it if but it's amazing. It's just like, I'm losing my thread. I feel like I'm going on. I think I started with like blue thread and now I'm going on like yellow thread. I don't even know where.
Well, okay. So let me tell the folks a little bit about the record, right? So the song's called "Songs for World of Trouble." You're using the Bandcamp platform, which all these things are various stages of evil and annoying, but Bandcamp seems to be the least odious at this recording. Your price. You have a price point of $20, right? You get a digital record of 8 songs, but here's the thing I like. There's like a 32-page digital book that comes with it, and I think that's so cool because that's stretching the idea of, okay, so you're all on the bloody internet all the time anyway. Internet used to be a place you go. Now it's a place people are on all the time, and that is a serious difference. And I think that this is a fantastic experiment because the folks that are into that kind of thing, like I still maintain like my own MP3 library, and I've done so since, I don't know, 2000, 2001, something along those lines. And but I'm a freak of nature when it comes to that kind of thing. And most people do not do that. But for folks that do, wow, it's great that you can get like your lossless copies. You can, get like a decent MP3 that doesn't sound like garbage. I mean, I've done an A/B with Spotify versus like another digital master and made me want to cry. It's like, oh my God, what they do. It's like MySpace all over again, but worse. So you get the ability to direct support, right? So that the money's not ideally, the money is coming to you directly and quickly. They seem to be taking longer and longer these days, but that's a different discussion.
Yeah.
And if you're someone that's a fan, such as myself, then you get this attendant material that goes beyond just having like a thing that you push the button on. You can look at the book. You can find all the other things about it. And I think that's very cool. And I think it's something that the problem with it is you got to let people know about it. Right? And it's like, even people that are just casual music fans, I'm like, what's a Bandcamp? Even now. And people don't believe me because the thing is, everybody is in these little circles of confirmation bias. Of course, by nature of who I am, what this show is, what my band is, I know many musicians. Everyone knows what Bandcamp is. Everyone knows what Bandcamp Friday is. Okay, great. But the thing is, there's a whole bunch of people that don't. They don't know what any of those words mean.
Right, of course. Right.
So how do you get the word out?
It's different. I mean, I know people. I have talked to people that didn't understand the exploitation of Spotify or any of
that's even like anything that you should
know. They didn't know it. Yeah. And it's they're like, what do you mean you don't get paid?
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Yeah.
This is the gross thing about and I've said this before. I love those platforms. Like,
Sure.
I love it. Like, I've discovered music that way. It's
It's taking
not
the place
a,
of radio in a way, right?
Yeah.
Where you can use it as an avenue of discovery, which is great. And that's
Exactly.
something that
yeah.
academically benefits everyone.
Yeah. And it's easy. You can do it in your
Yeah.
car. I'm driving all the time, so it's great. I have a little playlist. I mean, the whole thing is great. It's just the business model is absolutely disgusting.
No, it's
Like,
horrific. There's no way it can be found in fairness. It doesn't. It is not possible for it to be found in fairness. There's no way.
I mean, I think, and I've had these discussions online too, a little bit, like trying to explain it a bit. Like, there is this now, and it's just over time. It's just like, it's this idea of like, but you're doing what you love. You're doing well. So why are you complaining about money when you get to do what you love? Like, I'm going, okay, what other line of work? Like, just a doctor loves what he does too, right?
Oh, you want to get paid? How dare you? Yeah.
It's so bizarre. And it's this idea of like, well, you can't call it work. Like, and I'm,
Yeah.
It is work. It's a lot of work to do. And
it's not commonly accepted that that's the case. Like, it's for some reason, like, and again, we've just have decades of culture that's like, oh no, that's fun. That's like, well, of course it's enjoyable, but the thing is, like, it's not wrong to treat it as work, which isn't to say that like it's going to demean it by doing it. And
right. Also, if I were wanting to do a line of, like, if I were wanting to get into an industry that just had zero money, like it just doesn't make money, but it's I love it, but it's like there's no money to be made. I would have to think to be smart for myself. I have to think, I can't expect it. I can't get blood from stone. Like, I can't expect it to suddenly give me income when no money is generated from that thing I love at all. Whatever it is. Like, I love walking, right? Like, I walked across Iceland one time. And when I walked across Iceland, I was like, I want to be a professional walker. Like, I mean, maybe you could walk dogs, I guess. But,
dog walker, right?
There's that would be a very difficult thing for me to try to just like, I want to go to different beautiful places and walk for 8 hours a day and get paid for it. That might be a little hard. Right. So, but music, an immense amount of money is being generated. Immense amount is being generated.
Sure.
And it is not going to the people that make that industry possible to begin with. It's the weirdest thing. It's been, exploitation has been going on for fucking ever, forever. But now it's just.
They found brand new ways to exploit everything, which is impressive.
And you also find that when you go out and on tour, it's like, and you do your shit, you end up having to like even be the promoter. Oh, I mean,
yes, by default.
You're paying for a promoter.
Yeah.
Because there's all these advertisement fees, which I had a discussion. We just did a show.
Those back-end fees, come on.
Oh God!
Like, well, what promotion are we paying for exactly? Can you show it to me?
It's this. Click.
Yeah, like, Oh, you push the button on the thing and you post it on your Instagram. Okay, that's not promotion though.
No, it's just
It's temerity.
Oh my God! I mean, and it's just I actually wrote to. We did a show. I'm not even gonna. Well, I'm not going to say where it is, but we did a show. Like, we did a little show that was not a festival. It was in between, and we did a little show, and there were like, how many bands were on that night? It was three of us, right? We were headlining, which of course, nobody knows Jolie Laide. Like, nobody knows Jolie Laide. Yeah. But we were headlining.
We call, by the way, I'm from Oakland. We call that the California compliment, by the way, where you put the band nobody knows last. Yeah. Oh, no, you're headlining this show. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
you're the star.
Yeah, exactly. You're the star. Okay, so we're doing that. And then, but, people came.
Sure, of course.
People came. Actually, it might have been just no. It wasn't 3 bands. It might have been just 2 of us. Anyway, but people came. Not a ton of people came, right?
Right.
And we get. I hear like Jeff says, yeah, the band, we each got $40 or something like that. And I was
Yeah.
we got $40. So, and then he showed me the breakdown. It was like $225
This goes to the door guy. This goes to the sound guy. This goes to the bartender. The bartender? Wasn't the bartender getting tips?
Yeah, exactly. So, sorry, I've got it. So, $225 was for advertising. Then it was like the club gets 40% of the door.
Yeah.
40% of the door, which is
Wow.
quite frankly a lot, I think.
Yeah.
And so I wrote, I was like, give me the email. I got to write these people, because it was just, I couldn't believe it. And I said,
That
listen.
sounds like you're a local act. It's not like this is like a Tuesday blues bar night. I mean, like, come on. You're a touring act.
Also, I'm thinking my friend was there, and I swear to God, she probably at the bar, her bar tab alone was probably 40 people. So they didn't.
It's making somebody some money. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, not make money. And so I was just.
I got friends like that too.
Yeah, and so I love her so much, and so I was just like, "What the hell?" So I asked them to break down. Anyway, this is so not going to be interesting. Actually,
No. People, you wouldn't believe how many musicians listen to the show. It's interesting.
Okay, but I got it. I wrote to them, and I was just like, "Listen, I want to know your advertising breakdown. I just want to know what the breakdown of the 225, what was being done for that. Also, 40% of the door sounds a little high." And I said to them, I was like, "So look, I'm not asking for more money. I'm not asking, because the contract is done. I'm not asking you to change anything. I'm just saying,
I want to break down.
how does a band how do they just get their legs or whatever? What, sea legs? No, that's not it. How do they get their foot in the door? I don't know the right term, but how do they start this way? Like, I know we didn't bring a ton of people in, but there were more than 30. But like, how do we survive this way? We can't go out.
It's not sustainable.
For the first time this way, like, it's not possible. And this is just, quite frankly, it seems like, how do you expect new bands to even do this ever?
It's insane, and it's not sustainable, and it's crazy how it's never addressed, because again, playing music is fun. So since you're doing it for fun, it's like, yeah, you know what else is fun? Putting a gas in the gas tank and like paying for a place to stay every night because you don't know anybody in these freaking towns. Are you kidding me?
It takes a lot of grit, and like, so you just got to do it. But
this is why we have a merch area that stretches a couple time zones. By the way, like, this is the only reason I'm able to keep doing it. We have so many bloody things to sell. But anyway, it's not about me.
Yeah. I mean,
people goof on me. I'm like, you goof on me all you want, man. I'm keeping this sustainable.
Yes, you've got to.
You don't have to buy anything. You can just take your judgment elsewhere, sir. It's always dudes, by the way.
No, you have to do it. You have to. And so the positive thing is they did get back to me, and they were like, okay, well, we'll give you all of the door, and we'll make it 100% advertising. Yeah. And then, but they didn't break down the advertising.
They didn't see what they did, because they probably didn't do anything.
They didn't break it down, but I didn't force the issue. I was like, well, that's very sweet. Thank you. Because I wasn't asking for that. I just wanted the breakdown. And the other thing, people have, like, this other thing about, like, getting a percentage of the merch.
Yeah. Oh, dude, like, don't get me started on that.
Yeah. Well,
no.
I've said to people, on my own things, I've said to them, okay, so if you're going to take, I mean, I get it if they have someone selling it, of course.
That's a different story. Yes.
Yeah, of course. They should get paid. You should get a percentage. That's fine. But The rest of it, I'm just like, okay, you can do that. That's fine, but I need the same percentage of the bar.
Exactly. Yes.
And they
Yes.
usually go, oh, well, no. Okay, it's okay. I get it.
We'll just waive it for you. Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. Thanks.
But it's like everything,
Yeah,
and I've
great.
talked to Steve Albini about this before
Of
he
course,
left
sure.
the building. I've talked to him about when I first did my came back and did touring again. The first tour I did, I saw when I finally got the like breakdown. I saw all these weird third-party promoters, all these like, you know. I was like, am I paying to rent the venue? Like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, everything just goes back on the artist. And
It's like a Ponzi scheme.
it gets to the point where it's just like, this is so not sustainable, because it's not like we're making money. You know what I mean? It's not like we're getting all this cash and go, okay, well, we'll take on some of these things in our business. You know, it's just, it's not.
It's only and the only what are your options, right? Because especially if you have some clout, then you'd be like, oh well, I will talk to my famous friends, and you know they won't book this venue. But like, okay, what if you don't know any famous people? You know, like what if you don't have that to fall back on? What's your leverage? There isn't any. And it's the only thing you can do is just talk when there's disreputable practices. You go on record about it. You know, you name them, and I've seen people do that, and you know, then you're a narc. So okay, great, but
you can have a conversation. I mean, I actually didn't expect to hear back.
it's good that they wrote back.
Conversation with them, and I think every time I have had like a confrontation with people about this at the venues or whatever, I think that there's a kind of understanding of like, yeah, this is the way we've been doing things, but it might not be particularly fair, or it might just X you out of being able to play here. You know what I mean?
Right. And then oh well, they're a pain in the ass to work with, right? Which means they asserted themselves.
Right.
And I can say
I'm not worried about that. Yeah.
There are 2 times that this happened to me /us in the past 3 years. I'm not going to name either one. One of them is because there was an outside promoter, there was a miscommunication, and it's just something like, okay, that's just the way it went. And the other one, there was a legitimate reason for it. But it's one of those things where it's like, that screws up your entire accounting for like everything, for the entire tour. Yeah. And it's crazy that like people don't understand that or don't care, I guess.
No room in a tour.
No, there's no. Yeah. Oh yeah, let's use the cushion. What cushion?
There's no cushion in a tour.
What's up there, Metallica? Sure. Okay. Yeah. Like people, and I think even music fans, unless they also do it themselves, don't realize how thin the margins are for just literally doing it. Like not making money, but just like literally
so hard
doing the thing.
And so then when you see somebody like going back to Daniel Ek that is like has gotten so much power and money and just gives back, has zero responsibility.
Yeah.
I mean, just has zero responsibility to any, you know, he's just like, well, it's their problem. They made that deal or whatever. You know, it's like, no, you were the one that is thriving the most. You have a responsibility to be fair. I mean, it kind of is. I mean, not to everybody has a responsibility to be fair, for sure. But the onus actually does go on the one with the most power, I think.
Well,
you know
and what they did is they very effectively trained everybody to rent their music versus owning it. And by nature of that, to rent their music rather than owning it, because you don't own anything. What you're doing is you're accessing a walled garden, right? And they train people that this is the way. This is the way you listen to music. Not like this is in addition to buying records or CDs or digital downloads. This is the way to listen to music. Yeah. And they so effectively trained it that there's now an entire generation that doesn't anything else. And again, it's not that it isn't found in fairness, because again, I don't see how all music through all time can be available and would actually benefit working artists at all. There's no way that would ever happen. But it is egregious currently, and nobody has any prescriptive solution because there's no way and this is what people don't want to say. It's like I would liken it to the American healthcare system.
Ah,
Which is to say that in order for us to fix any part of it, many people would have to lose their jobs in insurance. You know why? Because you shouldn't have a department that is the claims department, because the claims department is there to deny claims. And that should not exist. Those jobs shouldn't exist. But no one will ever say that because then people are going to be losing their jobs. Well, you can't have that. I'm like, yes, but these jobs are predatory and shouldn't exist for healthcare to occur. And in that same way, a lot of these middlemen in these platforms, again, certain ones better than others. Yeah, definitely, right? But it's not sustainable in the way that we currently have it. And what you're going to have is everything's going to be AI now, right? So it's like, okay, now they're going to have like just fake artists.
That's what's happening already. I mean, that's happening now.
And it's so bleak. It's so bleak. I bum myself out talking about it. You know what I mean? But the only thing it's a saving grace is that there are folks that do care and will go to the Nina Nastasia bandcamp to go get songs for World of Trouble and pay $20 for it.
Actually, I think people, the majority of people, I think, do care. I think they they might not see how the corruption of it,
because they do a very good job of protecting that. They
really
do a very good job of
don't understand why. And then, I've had discussions where people are like, well, just get off Spotify.
Yeah,
Stop
as if that
whining.
solves everything. Right, yeah, exactly.
Stop
Okay.
whining about it. Just get your stuff off Spotify. And I'm like, no, you don't
Yeah, the most popular method of discovery in all of music.
Real change needs to come within Spotify. The artists need to be a part of that company. They need to have shares in that company. They need to have something. They need to be paid for the streams. They need to have, to me, it seems like a super easy fix, but also I don't run a company like that, so I don't know what I'm just saying.
Right.
You take care of the people that make your company possible.
Prescriptive consumer boycotts on the provider side are not efficient. Now, again, if something were to happen like on a block unseen of collective action, great. But there's no way it's going to happen. Everything's too atomized. People. Although this freaking Spotify CEO is doing a pretty good job of trying to prove me wrong on that. I would love to be proven wrong about this, by the way. Yeah. But there's just no way, because you're still going to have, and it's going to come down to the fact that, you still have Led Zeppelin on here, and you still have Taylor Swift on here, or whatever. So you would need to get all of those people as well. And again, so then, all right, you're off this one platform, and it's just going to be, it's like whack-a-mole, right? Then, all right, then this one's going to start doing the same thing. You know why? Because it's a corporation, and they're going to do it within their best interest. And their best interest is not to provide the best service possible. Maybe in the short term it would be. Mm-hmm. But you're bowing to the needs of capitalism.
I did love...
I sound like I should have a hammer and sickle behind me, but I'm just saying.
I know. But I do love the idea of an artist like Taylor Swift, somebody that is that powerful.
Then you're talking, right?
That wealthy to be, it's a job. Like she'd have to start a platform that could just pummel Spotify.
Oh, yeah. Or adopt a platform. Taylor Swift stuff is on Bandcamp now. Okay, great.
Anybody could, but like if she started, like, let's say, and I wrote a song about it, but she started a platform that was like a streaming platform and said, I'm doing this for, it's going to make money. And just compensate artists for their streams, and everything else stays the same. The thing is, like, it's the difference between somebody making, what is it that he makes a year? Like 300 plus million a year.
Yeah.
So it's the difference between 300 plus million a year and maybe he makes, I don't know, 150 or 100 million a year.
Yeah.
and then pay like actually compensate the people that are making your whole thing fucking possible in the first place. Like, it gets to be a whole thing of what is ever enough, for
Well, and
somebody.
that goes to the larger question of, should
But-
billionaires even exist too? But that's not,
Right.
in this particular case, we're talking about this one example,
No,
and
I
it's a
know.
larger conversation. But no, I completely agree with you. And so then, therefore, so what do you do about it, right? I think what you're doing is fantastic, which is to say that, like, if you want to get songs for a world of trouble, you got to go to Bandcamp. Again, I'm not saying Bandcamp is some angelic force.
So here's the other thing. Well, yeah, maybe it's not angelic, but it is.
It's
it
the
is
best we got, right?
pretty fair in a way. Like, I mean, it's okay. It's not.
You,
it's
you
not
get a
bad.
shekel or two from it,
Yeah.
maybe more on Bandcamp Friday, right? Okay, well, great.
Yeah, but so, what was I gonna say? Oh shoot, what was I gonna say? I just lost what I was gonna say. What were we talking about before? You know how you go back like twice.
Billionaires shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
Healthcare, the American healthcare system is a disaster.
Disaster because
Streaming cannot be founded in fairness. Anything else? I'm basically making a manifesto or like a,
I think we went back 2 and 3, and I lost the one that was just going to the other thing.
Well, I'm
Anyway.
trying to lean it back to you using the closest.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
Okay,
What
so the whole thing is that I didn't want to punish listeners. Like, I'm
Got it.
hyper aware.
Yes.
I'm hyper aware of that. Like, I'm very aware. I don't want to punish the listeners because, look, everything is fucking expensive, and
Right.
I love the idea that music can give give you your life so much meaning and joy and blah blah blah. Like, it's awesome,
Mhm.
And wouldn't it be great if it was free? But whatever. But so what I tried to do with the booklet is I really got excited about the Riderless Horse booklet, doing a booklet with and I thought every release, and it might not work out this way completely, but I want to have some special thing like a booklet, so that you still have the experience, even if you're going to just have the digital, which I would love to have physical copies, but it has to grow a little bit before I can do the physical copies.
Mhm.
With vinyl is
Don't worry.
hard.
Once you get the Protonic bump, it'll grow plenty. No.
Yeah, exactly. I'm doing vinyl all the way. So, but I wanted to have, like, the thing about getting vinyl is just like looking through it, reading the liner notes,
tactile.
reading the lyrics,
Sure.
feeling the pages. Some are, some people do different things. It's exciting, and it's just exciting. It's like getting a little, because it's so big too. It's just this big thing you're getting. Artwork is big. Everything is exciting. So I wanted to do something where, I'm making it a whole experience, and also making it be kind of like, no, you are getting something for this amount of money, because $20 is just $20, but $20 is huge.
Yeah.
It's still huge. It's still
It's
like
about a month of Netflix at this point too.
it's-
As I was
yeah,
just
it's a
reminded,
month
but I
of
forgot to pause
Netflix.
it.
Right.
I was like, God damn it.
Netflix. Oh my God. It's a month of Hulu. It's a month of Spotify.
Yeah.
You know,
I know, right.
like,
yeah.
it's substantial. So I wanted it to be something that is actually, people can feel like they got something worthwhile.
And they feel like they got something for their money too. Well, and also and they get the satisfaction that it's going to the artist rather than going to some anonymous, middleman and people with their hand out. My turn. What did you do?
Yeah.
Nothing. Okay, great. Here's your cut. Yeah. Great. This isn't demoralizing at all. Why am I an artist? Yeah.
I know.
So, I really dig that. I dig that idea, and I think that, and again, the Bandcamp platform is probably the best for that at this moment in time in the recording. Don't at me if this is like 15 years from now and you're listening to this, and through your brain implants or whatever the hell is coming up.
Right.
But at this moment in time, I mean, it's like it saved a lot of artists in a really tough time during COVID. That like people were especially going out of their way to purchase be a physical media or digital downloads, and it was a communitarian effort. And on the level of which I wish we would have seen more of globally rather than just in the music community, but it was a very big deal. And you see a little bit of that now still, especially with the thing I like about Bandcamp Fridays isn't necessarily about the purchases. At least people are talking about music that day. And that's, I know that maybe seems like lowering those expectations, like down,
No,
but they're at least talking about music and be like, oh yeah, hey, this record's really good. You should check it out.
Yeah.
And that gives the ability, again, you're opening up the door to cool things happening. And I think it's great. And by the way, music's good on this record of yours that we should maybe talk about at some point. But music is good. Like this is an awesome record. I was lucky enough to be able to check it out in advance. Thank you, and listen to it on the road a bit. And it's a great record. It sounds like a Nastasia record, and that's a good thing in my book. I would like to go through the songs on the record, but I don't want to. Sure. But I don't want to abbreviate the conversation of what else is wrong with the music industry, which is to say literally everything.
Oh God, no, we can move on. But that record was actually extremely profound record, I think, because it was the first record that I didn't do with Steve.
Well, and I want to talk about that too. So I want to talk about how it came to be, and I want to talk about what it is, and then maybe a little bit about each of the songs. And what I'll do is I'll throw them up on the screen here for. Again, this is where the audio listeners I can't see that. I know. All right, I'm trying to do a show here. Leave me alone. So let's talk about each of the songs, and we can talk about where the title came from, the recording of it, the composition, anything that jumps to mind. There's no wrong answer. It's just a way of giving context for it, right?
Sure.
So tell me about Oceanfront, which is the first song on Songs for World Trouble.
Oceanfront is a song. So that has been kind of tossed around in the archives for a little bit. It wasn't really finished, but just one of those doodles. There are some doodles in this thing. Mm-hmm. And I think it represented my sort of desperate need to find a beautiful environment to be in, because my environment 5 years ago, with Conan for 27 years were quite rough. Some beauty in there, but quite rough. And so I've always just loved to be around the water and in the water, and certainly that is an idyllic place for me to be, is just on an ocean front.
Oceanfront. Yeah, absolutely. No, that's a nice opener too. It's kind of good. Good level set.
Good.
And then having that as the first song on the record, that seems like that's a very distinctive choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about Happiness, which is my favorite song on the record, by the way.
Oh, good.
Okay,
So Happiness is really about, I think, I had, during those 27 years, I had a bit of, I think, environmental depression, and your brain creates pathways, and I still get kind of now and then sort of a chemical depression, Yeah. And my dog, like today was kind of a very low energy day, but my dog forces me to actually get outside because I have to give him long walks.
You have to, yeah, since it's a requirement. Yeah,
he's an Australian Shepherd. He really can't be inside. So as soon as and I'm just negotiating in my head with him. I wouldn't negotiate with him openly to his nose, because that would be rude, because I would be saying, oh, hey, can we just maybe just do 30 minutes?
Right, you're bargaining suddenly, right?
I'm bargaining. and I know he would
no,
for it, so
no,
I'm just this
is what I look forward to every day. Are you kidding me?
Right,
no.
Right, exactly. So I'm just trying to go, oh. But as soon as I get out there and start, it's a very great it's true. Like if you, it's a fucked up thing about depression, because like the thing that can really help with it is physical activity, like to
Right.
actually move your body, change your environment, get outside. It's a really good way to sort of change your brain right at that moment. And but it's the hardest thing to do, because this is all you want to do is stay in bed. So I it's funny enough, it's another song. So then I just I think that this song is definitely about that, and it's allowing a person to kind of show you kind of almost like fake it till you make it kind of thing, like just go along with that person who is happy. I don't know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just do it, really. I think it's that. I think it's just the physical, just do the happiness and it will come. I mean,
Right.
obviously things are not that simple, but it's kind of the idea. And I'll talk about really quickly as we go through these things, because I decided to do like 3 videos, and I just asked people, I asked friends to do videos. And so my friend Trisha Cook did this video.
Right. Yeah.
And she's such a dear friend. And my friend Dusty, her daughter, who's in it, is just another super dear friend. And I just love them so much. And I was gonna like meet them, and we were just gonna do the video. And but they were in France at the time, and so it just got complicated and couldn't do it. And so I was like, I don't have to be in it, just have Dusty do it. So,
right, exactly. Yeah, you don't.
With these 3 videos, it was just a really interesting. This was another experiment, and it was super interesting. I just asked people that I knew were super creative, and I just
cool.
I said, whatever you do, I don't care. Like it's free reign. Do as much or as little, or don't do it. But I asked them, and all 3 came up with some really lovely videos.
Yeah, that's
really
great.
Amazing. Yeah,
that's super cool.
And it was so fun to give up all control. Was actually super fun to do. It was like getting the most insane Christmas gift.
Well, sure, yeah, and that's something where you're trusting the artist, in this case the video maker, to interpret your art in a way.
And they're great artists.
Yeah.
Like all of them were extraordinary artists and have done beautiful work. On their own work is so beautiful that of just like, oh yeah, So yeah, that was super fun.
Did you ever think that? Because I certainly wouldn't have, that the video format was going to be like so integral to being a musician. It's like, because, when I was in like high school and stuff, it was like MTV was it, man. Oh, it's everybody's, you got to be on 120 minutes, and that would be the thing. And it's so funny. It's like, oh, now videos are back, but it's like, yeah, people are watching them on their phones instead.
Right,
which is like, okay, sure.
That's the other thing with doing something on your own too, is that I'm picking a single myself. Has nothing to do with the time of, how much time it is. Has nothing to do with whether it's going to get on the radio. It's nothing to do with anything, because I'm just like, I'm putting it out there for whatever happens. So who knows what's going to happen? I'm just like, put up my own little YouTube channel finally, and then just like, that kind of thing. So
yeah, and I think that again, that's another way to connect with the audience as well, too, right?
Yes.
It's another way to get the art context and connection.
Yes,
which should be what music's about,
Yeah. Well, so the other thing I will say is that, and I have like some friends that were helping me to like kind of figure out how to roll things out too in a way that was more traditional, because I wanted to give it as much push as possible, as much getting out there as possible. But I have to say that, like, the experts, people that really, I mean, they're I don't want to poo-poo them and say, like, they're just asking for money for nothing. I mean, that's not true. There's like people that are really great at doing all the parts that maybe the artists aren't particular. Like, when I say the artists, there's a lot of artists who are great at it, but like, I'm not one of those artists that are great at it. I mean, I actually can use a lot of help, but that said, there are the kind of, there is, I guess I just wanted to say that little asterisk in there, because what I said was true too. There's a lot of people that are saying, "Oh yeah, it's $225 for advertising." And you're like, "What?"
Yeah. That's a very reasonable fee for a reasonable.
I think the advertising happened in like 2 seconds. So
Right. Yeah.
you're getting $225 a second. That's
Yeah, they bought a TV spot in Matlock, and that was the entire advertising, right? That's not as good of a reference now because there's now a new Matlock, but it's like, okay, yeah. Back in the day, it meant, TV for old people. Yeah,
Cool.
No diss. I'm just saying that's what it meant.
Okay.
So that's Happiness. Awesome. Tell me about No Communication.
Okay. So No Communication. It was the other video. It's on YouTube. And my friend Theo Stanley and Cynthia Stanley, they are amazing filmmakers. Theo has worked a lot with Bruce Weber, and they, so they've got this, they live in upstate New York. They're just such an interesting family. Like, all the kids are so interesting. I love them to death, and No Communication is about, in my mind, it's a kind of idea of being connected to different generations within a family, and the kind of communication that happens that's just sort of in your DNA kind of thing, and I always, that's another doodle, the song that had been in my head for a long time. And it's another doodle that I just completed, but I always, for years, I always imagined Cynthia, because she's a dancer. I imagine her doing some dance thing to it. I just imagined them being a part of something with this song. I didn't know what, but I just always thought of them with this song. And so I threw it at them. I was just like, do you want to do something? And I think it's just an exquisite video. It's so,
It's super cool.
Family is in it. The whole family is in it. Cynthia's mom,
I love it,
sewed all the costumes. It was unbelievable. I was like, what is happening?
Family affair. Yeah.
It was a total family thing, and they just did a remarkable job. And I did feel a little bit like, shit, I do not deserve all these videos that are happening. And it was me just asking, going, I don't know, you want to do it?
Yeah. And the answer is that yes, people do. People do want to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an incredible collaboration, and it couldn't be more perfect for that song. I mean, it's exciting to see somebody to know somebody's going to get something, and then they just come up with something that is absolutely
fantastic.
Yeah, it couldn't do it any other way.
Yeah,
it was so good. Yeah,
it's a good time.
So that's that one.
And that's it gets across, and again, that can be scary sometimes too. Of just like, well, what's it gonna look like? But if you trust the person that you're working with, then it isn't scary.
Yeah, it's true.
Family of Three is the next song.
Okay, so Family of Three. I'm going to just expose this because it's like, I think the person will be totally embarrassed, and maybe it's not. I don't know. Might be very embarrassed. But so God, I'm way too open a person, I feel like, and maybe I shouldn't be so open.
I mean, your call. I'm not going to press you on it.
But
but-
I'm kind of into being open. So anyway, it's a lot of these songs were doodles, like I said, from the time I was not making music, right?
Yeah.
I had stopped making music, and before, I mean, we're friends now, but before I knew him, I don't know him completely, but know him before we were. I could say he was a friend of mine. Will Oldham had been just like a very inspirational character in music, because I mean, not just because he's a beautiful, inventive musician and an incredible poet. It's not that. It was because he had this sort of, and I'll say, this, it came off as a complete freedom, which I believe he is pretty free, creatively. And that was so inspiring to me in this time. And absolutely, I was caged. So I was the opposite, right?
Of course,
and
yeah.
I looked, his music was his music got me through. And, we were Ken and I were in a couple of his videos. So, and we're in the similar circles. So we met, he was very gracious with his home. We stayed at his place for a while and stuff. And there was something about his community, his whole thing that seemed so free and healthy and lovely. And and then he met this beautiful woman, and they had this kid, and it was just became this, like, I wanted to write. I wrote this song with his family in mind, as like the idyllic side of it. I mean, nothing's idyllic, but I'm just saying, like, it was a kind of, how do I explain it? It like became in writing this song, it kind of was like oceanfront, right? It was like, this is peaceful, this is healthy, this is what a beautiful, healthy thing looks like.
It's observant too, and especially in the way that there's like the path less traveled, and there's the things that, like, when you're not a part of that, and you see it, of course you're only seeing it from the outside. You don't know what's going on. But it's interesting to me, and this is another highlight for me on the record, because I don't think I've really heard a song from that perspective. I'm sure they exist. Maybe it's a country song or something that I don't know. But I thought it was very poignant, and it's in that way that look, man, even with as we all get older, that's how time works. You see people that you used to do the same things with, and they're doing different things now. They have different priorities. They have these things that are happening. It's like, it's not right. It's not wrong. It's the way it is. And every once in a while you have these little moments of epiphany of like, oh yeah, wow, there you are. It's a whole family, huh? Okay.
Yeah, and it's just
like, I remember when I picked you drunk off the floor at a warehouse show.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
It's like, all right, well,
exactly.
You're somebody's dad now. Okay, that's crazy.
Right. And
not to narc anybody out again, but I'm just saying, it's just kind of funny because you have these moments of perspective, right? And I found it very moving. And
also like I'm slightly horrified. Like, oh God, if he heard me like say this in public, might be a little bit embarrassing. But it's like it's not it's like everything is everything. I mean, it's, it's just this, I don't know. It was like, I'm not looking at his life like, oh, it's ideal kind of thing. It wasn't that.
No.
This beautiful kind of inspiration of what freedom looks like, creative freedom, what just like a, and creating this family and beauty within it was like inspiration. It was inspiring in a kind of way of kind of keeping going through a time that was tough.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's something where this is a person that is also making great art as well. Yeah, great.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And you can do that. And I know people that do, and and that's lovely. That's inspirational.
I mean, it was it's so funny because it's like it was just the opposite of what I was doing at the time. Like before the Family 3 thing, it was what he was doing in music, at least the appearance of it seemed so completely free and not concerned in the least with perfection and my world was really like me failing to be perfect constantly. Like now I don't give a shit.
Yeah. And because then you discover that.
Shit. I mean, I feel pretty fucking free now, but
because in attempting to achieve perfection, you end up coming up with something great, right? But like, at the time, it doesn't feel like, oh, I didn't do it.
Right.
It didn't meet my.
It's true. I am super proud of my work, and the work I did with Conan was, I don't want to. I know I've talked about that before, where he gave me an enormous amount of wealth of knowledge and taste and all sorts of things, and how I do things now. But I was in a cage. I was certainly in a cage, and I did not thrive that way. That's kind of why I had to quit, because I kind of sucked, like in some ways, it wasn't sustainable, right?
Because the elements of the art, it's going to be informed from those experiences, and in some cases stymied by them.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's like just like this ridiculous musical biopic idea that you have to be really depressed to write a good song. Man, are you kidding me? If I can't do dick when I can barely get up and get some Cheerios.
Exactly. Cheerios are great. Actually, that Cheerios does change a mood. For sure. You can really change the mood with some Cheerios. I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
Some well-placed breakfast cereal can really lighten the day. Yeah. No, but it's I think it's notable, and I think that I've seen the more emotionally involved, emotionally mature people that I know phrase it much more succinctly and eloquently. But the idea is you have to be able to let yourself off the hook of not being creative all the time. Right.
Yeah.
And that can be hard, especially if you have an outside influence of any kind, but it's hard. I mean, being creative is the most wonderful thing in the world. And sometimes it feels like a curse rather than a blessing, especially when it's not happening.
It feels like a hard thing to control. Right.
And it never, it's it's not always when you want it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Not to make it about me, but I've been like, I'm in the produce aisle and have oh my God, this is a great idea for a song. I'm like, my hands are full of fruit. Well, I can't do anything about this right now, and it's just like, hey, I guess I'll hum it to myself until I can get to the car and not seem like a crazy person somehow. But
right. Oh, I know. Well, that is the thing about like it ends up Yeah, it's the perfect thing. It's like it ends up coming to you when you can't do it.
Yeah, and then you sit down and record something, you're like,
Completely
this sucks. What is
completely-
this? Why did I think this was good? This is terrible. And then sometimes it's like, oh no, this is good. Okay, right on. But like sometimes it's like, okay, well, the magic has now left the building, and it's back in the produce aisle.
Magic, that is the interesting thing about that whole scenario is that I did find that discipline's really an important part of the creative process because
Didn't we talk? One of these shows, didn't we talk about like the whole Nick Cave thing? How he just sits down at the piano to write songs, and like.
no,
you
we
know.
didn't talk about that.
I'm fascinated by this, and I hope it's real. But I think I heard him say it in a documentary, so I think it's real. That he just like, first of all, he puts on a suit and tie, goes to the piano, and to write. And
I love that he does that. That's great.
and he's very upfront of like, and most days nothing of note happens, but
Right.
he treats it like a job. He's putting the work in to do it. I'm like, wow, that's so interesting.
Yes, that is anytime yes, that is because what it is. I mean, because our brains, it's like a pattern in your brain, right? He probably puts on the suit. He knows he's going to start getting to work. He sits at the piano. Just that act alone starts to do a repetition of like something's going to happen. It's not magic, but it feels like magic sometimes because it just spouts. Sometimes you just vomit up something great.
Because it's a ritual. It's like you could look at it like that if you want to be like a ritual, a genuflection. Again, you're doing the things that you do before the stuff happens.
Yeah.
And there is something to be said for that kind of muscle memory might be the wrong word, but it just going through the act of doing it. And I think about that so much. Not that, I mean, first of all, putting on the suit to go play the piano is like, I was like, that's a baller move. I don't know if I'm going that far, but it's like, no, there is something to be said for it. Yeah, I kind of do too, but
I do love it. But it's yes. I mean, I remember. I've been pretty. I was pretty lucky for the first couple of records because I had so much back catalog. Like
sure, yeah, so many
much
songs
writing
yeah.
so it was kind of easy to just sift through them. But there was a time where I was just like, not feeling it. I'm in this tiny apartment. Everything's oppressive. I've got like job. It's like that. I hate it. Everything was just oppressive. And one of the great advice things that Ken actually gave me was he was just like, just go, because I would go in the bathroom to write because that was the only other room was the bathroom.
That's another thing people never talk about is being creative while poor. Where it's like there's just
the only room was me sitting on the toilet and closing the door in the bathroom to try to write. And so he was like, get in the bathroom and write just the worst fucking song you can write. Just make it
do it. Just
about a bad song or whatever. Like go in there with the intention of just doing a shit fucking song. And I have to say that was like fantastic advice because, the pressure, you start to have this pressure of like, no, every time I go into that bathroom, it's got to be just a gem of a thing. And that's not how creativity works.
Not at all how it works.
No, you have to go through and try some stupid fucking shit and that you don't want anybody to see or hear. And it helps you kind of grow into going in directions you might not have gone, So yeah, and the act of going into the bathroom and sitting on the toilet with the guitar was like that alone.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like putting on a fancy dress to go in there,
Right, sure. Yeah, it's a ritual.
I mean, that would have probably kick-started it if I had a fancy dress that I would wear.
Sure, yeah.
But your brain starts to just go, okay, we're getting to work now.
Yeah,
it's like any writer I've heard talk about writer's block. It's like, go to the table, certain time, open up your computer or your piece of paper and write from this time to that time every day. And it's really good advice, I think.
It is.
I don't do it that often, But
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't follow it, but it's great advice.
no, but if I have moments where I feel like right now I'm doing another project where I'm going to need more material, and I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to be like, okay, I'm going to have to every day, a certain time of the day, I've got to do it because, if I have to get stuff done, that's a way to do it because you're going to be able to.
Well, and again, you can give yourself permission to like, well, it doesn't have to be good. I just have to do it, and then like. You'd be like, actually, this isn't so bad. This is kind of like whatever, but like this is pretty good. And then you can, and this kind of moves with this and this, it all comes together.
It's hard because some songs are they're brutal to get through, and and other ones happen in like 30
I know,
minutes.
right? Isn't that crazy?
So it's and the ones that happen in 30 minutes feel like bliss.
And you're like, oh, this is what everybody thinks it's like, and it is not like this most times.
No, it's not always like that. Sometimes it's a slog, or sometimes you have to just shut it down and come back to it later, and maybe it'll turn into something.
Have you ever had ones that were just like, 1,000-mile walk in the desert for an ice cream cone, as my friend of mine says? Because that's just like, oh my, is this even going to be? Is the juice worth the squeeze here? I don't even know anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of which. There is one that's not. It's not recorded, actually, and it's one that was like, and it's one that's a little unusual. Like I'm like, oh, that's unusual for me, and I actually really like it, but it took some like doing. It wasn't fun. It wasn't as fun.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like just wasn't as fun. But yeah.
I love it. I mean, I could literally talk about that all day, but we should get back to the record here. Okay. So ostensibly that was Family of Three and just an overarching discussion about songwriting. But Old Goat. Tell me about Old Goat.
So Old Goat is really loosely, I say loosely based because she didn't talk about it a lot, but it was definitely based on my grandmother's story because she was, I think she was from a family, I say one of 9, but I think she was one of 10. And she ended up being, like given away to another family for work. He was very poor.
Wow.
Like super poor. Like it's the typical Irish Catholic starving family.
Yeah, I'm sitting over here bitching about Spotify payouts, and meanwhile the child's being given up for, oh, you're going to work with this family now. That's what you're doing.
Right, yeah.
Crazy,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, crazy. So she didn't want to talk about it a lot. Like she didn't talk about Ireland that much. But I was very close to her. I loved her. And so that song is just kind of my idea of what it would be like to be that girl in that situation. Like what would you do in this idea of, what's the hope?
Yeah, how do you even contend with that? How do you deal with that? How do you reconcile that? How do you literally survive? Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, and you probably survive by finding a man that could help you survive.
Right. Yeah. Marry rich.
Yeah, or anything.
Yeah. God.
So yeah.
Well, I guess it does put certain things in perspective, but yeah, that's a heavy topic for sure.
Yeah.
Stop a Train is the next song on the record.
Okay, so Stop a Train. So, God, a lot of these songs are older actually, but so Stop a Train I watched this, the documentary Berkeley in the 60s. Did you watch that?
Oh yeah. Well, so yes, for sure. I used to, my first quote unquote real job was Tower Records in Berkeley.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And so on my walk to Tower Records in Berkeley, I would walk past People's Park every day. So a lot of the things that are in that documentary were like around the neighborhood I used to work in. So I was like, oh my God, I got to watch this, right? This is amazing.
So do you remember that woman that was that there were trains going out to
Yes.
and
Yes.
she was holding on to, like, they were like holding hands on the train track, and she was pulled off at the last minute
Because they saw it wasn't going to stop.
He wasn't going to stop.
It's like that train ain't stopping, lady.
They're going to mow them down.
Yeah.
And so at the last minute, this woman was yanked off. She could feel the steam of it, and she was just yanked off. And do you remember that moment where when an interviewer was like, so what would have happened had that person not pulled you out at the last minute? And she goes, well, I would have died. Like, and it was such a matter of fact, like,
yeah.
Well, of course I was going, she believed in this to such a strong degree that she was ready. She was ready to put her life literally on the line for this cause. And it really, like, struck me to the core, because I was just like, shit, what do I my dog? Is that what, like,
Right.
but maybe not. Like, don't tell him that, but no.
Yeah.
But I've never had a kid. I mean, I feel like when you have a kid, you get that instinct immediately, like that thing. But we've until things have gotten super ugly now. It's been pretty tame in our world in America, like of what you do,
Well, and the efficacy of that kind of protest. Well, first of all, it's largely infeasible now, and with lack of collective action or media awareness in an atomized non-monoculture, the actual effects of it are it's impossible to achieve the same sort of thing.
Right.
But it's also one of those things where when people do participate in direct actions, be what they are, you ought to admire that. Like, that response. It's hard as hell, but it's also like, that's nuts that you were willing to, like, literally be run over by a God-pounding train. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was something that I so am so not ready to die ever.
I was gonna say, oh, looks good on you.
Yeah, like ever. Like, I love it here so much, and as hard as it gets, as shitty as it gets.
I guess I won't call myself an activist anymore because, not me, man.
And so, but I had respect for somebody that has that kind of, is willing to go that far for what they believe in is I mean it's, I can't say it's not a beautiful thing. It's like, I do have to respect it, right?
It's stunning. Well, and it's one of those things that it gives you just a portrait into that time period, and the passion behind this activism that often was washed away because it was barely covered in mainstream media then. I mean, now forget it. Like, you have someone to be like, fake, that didn't happen. Okay.
Right. Oh.
Which is, let's not get into that, but
we'll be here for hours. Yeah.
Right.
So
that's Stop a Train. Let's move on. Blazing Fire. This is the next song.
Oh yeah. So that song is really funny because that song started. I actually wanted to do a lot of vocals on that song, and I couldn't figure it out because I really liked the idea of coming up with these crazy harmonies for stuff, and I kind of half heard it in my head, but that one I had been doing a cappella for so long, and I just kept it as an a cappella, and I wrote that song because it's kind of funny because it was my, I think touring with Mogwai was the first time I went out and did shows, I think, since coming back. I think it was that little Mogwai run opening for them. And I remember just being kind of terrified, like Jesus, I've not performed in so long. I was doing these, I was in Vermont. I was doing little like open mics just to get used to performing again because it had been so long. And I remember I was talking to Will. And he was like, "Oh yeah, don't worry about it. It's gonna be fine. Nobody listens to the opener anyway. It's gonna be fine." And I was like,
And you're like, oh, that's so reassuring. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, it did actually calm me down." I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Takes the
great.
pressure
Okay,
off. Sure.
You're right. Nobody's gonna be listening to it anyway." And then I got off the phone. I was like, "What do you mean nobody's gonna be listening to it anyway?"
How dare you?
Stop that. I'm opening with an a cappella song. So I wrote that song so that I could open my show with an a cappella song so I could shut everybody the fuck up. But the Mogwai people Mogwai's audience was so fucking respectful and beautiful audience. It might as well have been my show. It was incredible.
Well, yeah, because they're also used to incredible dynamic range too, and like parts that like whisper quiet and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So it makes sense.
So
that's funny.
So that's how that song came to be, and then I just kept it a cappella.
Yeah, it's cool. Well, and it's got a nice vibe because like it hits a little different, right? You don't. I mean, maybe there's an a cappella scene I'm not aware of, probably, but like I don't hear it that much,
Yeah.
It reminds me of
a cappella scenes.
Did you ever the a cappella scene? Yeah. Did you ever hear the Alternative Tentacles? It's gonna be a long way to go. It's a Virus 100, I think. It was a Dead Kennedys tribute record. Did you hear this? And No Means No did Forward to Death, but they did it a cappella. They did like mouth instruments and like a cappella, and I was like, oh, that's crazy. That's and it completely worked too. I was like, oh, that's actually really cool and really inventive. But it was also like, I wonder what does it sound like if it actually just was No Means No, who had a very unique sound, like doing it. But I'm like, this is kind of badass though. Like it's not at all what you expected.
Oh, that's interesting.
Anyway, yeah, Forward to Death by No Means No, and I believe the Virus 100 comp. I don't know, I don't remember, but yeah, there you go. I think I talked about John Wright when he was on the show. Look it up, people. North Dakota closes the record out. Tell me about that one.
Okay, so North Dakota is I wrote and I dedicated to my mathematician friend, and that who just those spaces completely remind me of him. But it was. I wrote North Dakota a really long time ago, and during that time, I think a lot of that stuff is during this really tough time. But those long highways of nothingness is just in space was so opposite to my tiny little apartment in New York City.
Oh man, right? Yeah, for sure.
And it was just such a beautiful escape that idea that's just imagining those long roads. So that's where that came from. And it's funny because and she's a new friend. She's very young. She's 20, I believe. Evelyn June. Let's make sure that I'm like know her as Evelyn June, who. So I did a show in Seattle, and her mom, Deborah, came to see the show and it was an all ages show, and she brought her daughter and they were living in Portland, but they took the trip to see the show. And I met them after the show, but her daughter, there was something about her daughter. She was just this beautiful girl that had the incredible style to her. And I was just like, I don't know. I was just kind of immediately drawn to her. And I had this other project that will involve costumes.
Right.
I was like, oh, I'm going to plug in my computer. It involved costumes. So I was like, oh, I need to stay in touch with this girl because she's got this insanely interesting style that I would like to talk to her about. Anyway,
Sure, yeah.
but you know, her mom came to the show in I did the show in Portland, and she couldn't go because she was underage, but her mom came to the show, and I said, oh, maybe I would love to talk to Evelyn, maybe through her social media, whatever. She said she has no social media. Like, she doesn't use social media at all.
Oh,
She's
man.
this interesting young person that's not into social media at all. So
That sounds so freeing. Yeah, I'm very into
yeah,
that. That sounds great.
It's kind of a wise, interesting way to go, right?
Yeah.
And so anyway, so I reach out to her and we talk, and she shows me all these ideas she has. She did this animation that was really beautiful, and she and I said, you know what? Because she's also like a young filmmaker, and I was like, you want to do a video?
Yeah.
So I asked her if she wanted to do this video from North Dakota.
Nice.
And she did it, and it's lovely. And it's one of those other things where I was like, well, this could go real south. This could be, I don't know, who knows what this video would be. This is a young girl, but she's incredible. She's really definitely a very sophisticated filmmaker for her age, and she's got great ideas, and I loved it. She just put it all together and did it.
That's awesome.
So she was just one of these other one of the three people that just did such an incredible job with these videos. It was exciting.
That's great, and again, I think these all are songs that lend themselves well to that format. So that's always nice, and it's cool to see them presented in a different way. And people are just look. Everything has become a short form video delivery system now, too, whether I like it or not. So I mean, that's just what it is.
True.
And newsflash, I don't like that, but it doesn't matter if I like it or not. That's the way it is, and so it's you can adapt with the times. You can sit there and yell at a cloud, right? So
I know.
Might as well do something cool with it, which these are cool. And
I do love videos. It's fun.
It can be done. It can add a lot to the experience, right?
Yeah,
There's something to be said for that.
Yeah.
Especially for people that want context, because some people do want context. They do want nuance. They do want to present it in other ways. They aren't just endlessly doom scrolling, or maybe they are, but they also care too. Whatever. I don't where I'm going with all that, but anyway. So yeah, Songs for a World of Trouble. That's the record. Cool. Like, this could be like a black metal album cover too. In a way, like, it's awesome. Like, it's cool.
It's from a real photograph of my dog.
No
and
way.
Then of course he didn't have all that blood on
I was going to say, who did he murder?
I added that. Oh, this incredible. God, I keep forgetting her last name.
Shit. It's a lovely image, and by lovely I mean terrifying.
Yes, and this amazing artist, young artist Ruby, did it, and her name is in the book. Why do I?
Oh, sure, yeah, I think I should have it on this computer. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, good. Ruby.
I'll find it. Here we go. This is real time, people. Real time. Ruby Schneider.
Yes.
Ruby Schneider. There we go. Thank goodness for Apple F.
Yes, Ruby Schneider. She's amazing, and she painted that. And I was like, can you just put a bunch of blood on his muzzle? His mouth. Just put a ton of blood, like he's been just. And she actually went so much wilder than.
Yeah, it's wild looking.
I expected it to go. It was really good. I was like, yeah, you understand.
So you dedicate in the book, it's dedicated to Steve.
Yeah.
And
it is.
There's a couple great quotes in the book and on the bandcamp. I don't want to make you paraphrase, but I found it very striking that there was a conversation you had with Will Oldham soon after Steve passed, right? And
yeah. Oh yeah. And It was extremely helpful to hear that quote. And maybe you have
I'll literally pull it up and read it. So you said something to the effect that I don't know how I would want to record music ever again.
Mm-hmm.
And Will Oldham then says, graduation has been imposed upon us. It's time to throw our hats in the air and get real. Make music with a sense of value and even purpose.
Yeah. It's just so it's so fucking true. And when I went to his memorial, I you could see the community, and everybody was throwing their hats in the air at that memorial. Sadly, I mean, everybody will just miss him terribly, but the community was not stopping, and I have met people from that memorial that I'm still talking to now, and we all, everybody I talked to there was just said, oh my God, it was a huge reminder of how he actively put people together as a community.
As a connecting tissue, right?
And it's so important.
Yeah.
Because music is so hard. It's so fucking hard. And it's so great to have a community. And I'll say one more thing, because I have to mention these people I really want, coming here to Seattle, I really want to try to find my community. And I found, I'm still working on it, but I just happened to run into, meet these two people at a gig at a friend of mine, Andrew Rudd, who I recorded the record there.
Sure. Yeah.
And then Kish, who plays the bass, and then Andrew played the drums and the five things or whatever. And so it was it's like the whole thing is kind of works out of me just randomly going, yeah, let's do this thing, without knowing how it could go, because it could just go terribly wrong. But somehow it went terribly right, in my opinion, so it was just Andrew has a fantastic home studio. It sounded great, and they're great musicians, and they're just lovely, lovely, lovely people. And so it was pretty smooth transition of having these lovely new friends do this project together without Steve. It was like and in his studio, I was able to really meant the dedication to be for Steve, because I really saw how much I learned from that man. Yeah. I learned so much about how to record, kind of find my way in a studio.
He was pretty good at it. Yeah, he was all right. He was just getting good.
Yeah, and he really understood. He had rules to break all the time, but he really understood how to efficiently create your record in a studio. Just be efficient with how you work,
which is admirable, because you think about your average sleazy studio owner like archetype, right? It was like, oh, they want to spend as much time as possible. Oh, you need some hand claps in here for sure. Really? Do I need hand claps? I don't know. Right. Which doesn't say I'm against hand claps, dude. I have hand claps on my actual records when it makes sense. But I'm just saying, like, the kind of thing of like, they're just trying to get you to use more time. And sorry, I can be real careful about my words sometimes, and I'm not, but I need to be. But
I'm not either,
because he had a modus operandi that's very specific, and it's not suited for everybody necessarily. But one cannot, in any way, shape, or form, denigrate his commitment to excellence and for just doing the best for like the people he was recording, right? And we shall not see his likes again, I fear.
I know,
but this is a great record. I like it a lot. As you know, I'm a fan. I celebrate the entire catalog, but I really am going to encourage people. I always encourage this, but I'm specifically mentioning it again, that people should pick it up on Bandcamp by nature of the release, because these are the kind of experiments that should be encouraged.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm definitely gonna keep going with it, because it's
Well, don't worry, I will definitely pick one up eventually every time. Like,
You'll
oh yeah,
get
I need
one.
to do that. I keep forgetting. I was like, oh yeah, what? Something I need to do. I was like, oh, I need to buy Nina's record. That's right.
Yeah.
Should I show up 2 minutes late to the listening party, buy the record 2 months later? Yeah, you know, I get there eventually. What do you want from me?
Actually, yeah. Actually, it's fine. Probably better than what I do.
Nina, it's always a pleasure to have you. You're welcome on the show
It's always
anytime.
fun talking to you.
Yeah, it's anytime you want to come on, you're welcome. I hope that you will come on many more times to come with many more records.
Oh, I'm sure I will. It gets lonely here in the Seattle freeze. I'll be calling you.
All right, don't threaten me with a good time. Yeah, anything else you got coming up? Any live dates on the horizon or anything along those lines? New records?
Yeah, I do have some stuff coming. I mean, I'm working on stuff. I'm like working on figuring out more shows to do, and then I go back to do some Jolie Laide stuff in October, and then come back. So
cool. All right. Well,
stuff going.
look forward to any of that remotely near me. Probably not, but that's fine. You know what? You don't have to say on air. It's okay. You don't have to say on air.
It is so hard to do. The U.S. is
I know.
really hard.
Man.
That's the thing.
Yes.
I know.
Agreed.
The US is really hard. I've got like Europe, UK stuff in the works for next year, but the U.S. I would love to do more in the U.S., but it's hard.
It is very
I'm
hard.
doing like Pacific Northwest right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, glad you're doing it. Glad there's a lot more coming. And like I said, always a pleasure. Yeah, I guess until next time.
Yes.
We won't say goodbye. We'll just say see you later.
Okay, let's do it. Thank you so much for letting me speak at you.
Always. Anytime. Nina, take care.
You too.
There she goes. The wonderful Nina Nastasia. Let's listen to what is one of my favorite songs of hers that is on this record and is entitled Happiness. Goes like this.
Just be happy, don't focus on what's bringing you down. You wanna show me all the greener grasses once I pull my head out of the ground. I think that I can be happy, if happiness is what you want. Maybe I'll do it for you, maybe what you say is true, and what we'll have is fun. La la la. Told, take a walk in the sun. My body tells me that I just want comfort, and a change isn't the thing that I need. Intoxicating is the all-familiar sadness that lulls me to sleep. But I'd rather be happy, happiness I wanna feel. And since it doesn't come naturally from me, I'll let you go ahead, take the wheel. La 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 la. And if it feels like I don't belong in your world filled with light, I won't move on. I'll stick it out
There you go. Happiness. Nastasia, my wonderful guest yet again. That's on the great record that you can get on Bandcamp right now. Songs for World of Trouble, NinaNastasia.bandcamp.com. Go get that. It's $20. It's worth every cent. Tell them Protonic Reversal sent you. Yeah. So follow her along on all the social medias, all that. Big fan. Big fan, if you can't tell. The name of the show is Conan Neutron's Protonic Reversal. Thank you very much for listening to it. The show airs Thursdays, normally 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific. Streaming live on YouTube and Twitch again, I guess. Podcasted later everywhere. Always free. No ads, no sponsors, no kidding. ProtonicReversal.com for the archives. You can... thanks, everyone. Patreon.com/ProtonicReversal. $1 a month. That's advanced access. Helps you get that episodes just like this one sooner. And also support the show. And thanks for folks that liking on the various things, subscribing on your platform of choice. That helps people discover the show. And frankly, it's just a darn nice thing to do, and I appreciate it. Let's see. Tim Byron of the Maishi and Hell Yeah coming up next. Daniel House, Skinyard, Steve Until, Neurosis. There's so much stuff going on. I can't keep track of all of it. If I can't keep track of it, how can anyone else? But stay tuned. Lots of cool stuff happening. Anything else? I think that's it. Some Conan Neutron Secret Friends dates coming up. They're not just yet, so don't worry about that. But, oh yeah, Rat City Recon, Seattle. Oh yeah, where Nina lives. Stay safe out there. As always.
Can you hear me now?
Check you
out
later.
On Route 128, dark and lonely. I got my radio on. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Welcome to my top 10. I'd like to thank our sponsor. But we haven't got a sponsor. Not if you were the last man on earth. She was prepared to prove it. This one goes out to a special girl. But there is no special girl. It's the end of radio. The last announcer plays the last record. The last what? Leaves the transmitter. Circles the globe in search of a listener. Can you hear Is it really broadcasting if there's no one there to receive? It's the end of radio. As we come to the close of our broadcast day, got my radio